This episode of Capes and Lunatics Sidekicks is brought to you by Tweaked Audio. To get awesome headphones, go to tweakedaudio.com and use the coupon code Southgate to get 30% off, free shipping, and a lifetime warranty. Or you can get there through the link on our website, southgatemediagroup.com.
This is Luca Perich, and you are listening to the Capes and Lunatics Sidekicks podcast.
What about our Quasar podcast, The Quantum Zone?
What about our Quasar podcast?
Wendell Vaughn, the first Earthman ever appointed Protector of the Universe. Bonded to the energy-transforming quantum bands that are both weapons and symbols of his station, he fights an ongoing battle to defend all life in the universe from cosmic evil as Quasar. Hello and welcome to the 150th episode of the Quantum Zone. I am Phil, joining me, as always, master of the Quantum Zone, it is.
I'm Will, hey everyone.
And master of stockpiling those diapers, it is.
I am Matt. I have no diapers, so I have not mastered the stockpile quite yet. But
I was going to say, yeah, pretty soon he'll get some for the baby, too. Oh!
Opening. There you go.
All right, so yes, 150. We're going to do our big retrospective on the first 25 issues of Quasar. I figured I'd go down the list. Maybe we can even hit some of the other issues we did in the first, 65 episodes.
Hey, before we get started, sad news to announce. Steve Lytle, artist on issue and a half and 3 covers of Quasar, passed away last week. Heart attack induced by COVID. So we've lost another Quasar alum, which is really sad.
Yeah, I did see that. I didn't see cause of death. Okay, so heart attack by COVID.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
That's terrible. Terrible news.
I know.
Terrible.
I mean, it's almost. I hate to say this, but is the Quasar book like cursed? I mean, Grunwald, Paul Ryan, Steve Lytle.
Let's see. I'm trying to think. Yeah, Paul Ryan. So we lost, Grunwald in '96. Paul Ryan was several years ago at this point, and then now Steve Lytle. So yeah, it's
watch yourself, Capullo.
That's right.
Yeah.
But hey, cheers to Steve.
That's
He's
right.
Great artist.
Good drink. All right. So, we're only a few days away from WandaVision.
That is true too. Yes, that looks pretty good.
If the app I use is accurate, we may get the first 2 episodes this Friday.
Very cool. And there's going to be just 8? Is it just 8 episodes, or?
I was looking at the list. I think it might be, for some reason, it might be 9.
9? Okay.
Let me see. What was that, Matt?
Oh, I was asking you, is this like a news app or something? You said according to the app you have, you might...
It's called TV Time. It just keeps track of. It tells me what when the new episode's coming to something. Yeah, as long if you put in all the shows you watch, it'll tell you. It'll even give you alerts if you want to be oh hey this show's starting tomorrow or
and Discovery ended the season.
Yes,
I thought really well.
Oh yeah, I liked it. I like that finale, and I think Lilith was saying they might just be getting one more season. And that might be it.
Oh, okay.
Well, I guess because Picard's coming back, they're gonna be doing that Strange New Worlds with Pike, and then
with Pike and Spock and Number 1, yeah,
and then Section 31. So yeah, they're gonna have shows. Yeah, according to this app, there's 9 episodes. So
is the first one a double sized?
It's not saying, but yeah, it's still saying episode 1 and episode 2. So
they may just play both 1 and 2 as a kind of a big hour-long event, because they're half-hour episodes, right?
It's not saying, but I mean, wasn't that usually wasn't The Mandalorian usually 30-some minutes or
30-something? Yeah. Well, cool. That's something to look forward to.
Yep. But yeah, I don't think there's no episode title, so I wonder.
But yeah, me and Charlie have been speculating on WandaVision because in the one trailer there's like a beekeeper, and we're like, I know Charlie was like, "Are they hinting at AIM? Are they hinting at AIM?" Who knows?
I guess we'll see.
I don't think anything else coming out. Did you see? I guess they were saying today there's talks, nothing official, but there's talks that maybe they might release Black Widow streaming.
Oh, interesting.
Or like streaming in movies same day, or theater same day.
Very cool.
Because Morbius got pushed back again. What was it? It was supposed to come out. What was it? March or something. Now they pushed it back to October.
And I think they said Deadpool is going to take place in the MCU. Deadpool 3.
Deadpool 3. Yeah, and I think they said it's going to be R. And Ryan Reynolds is working with them, I guess. I don't know, on the script or.
Ooh.
So for those of you who are worried, yes, we'll get more rated R Deadpool.
There's a lot of interesting phases of the Marvel Universe coming up. A lot of unknown. I mean, some of the stuff is new things are Vision and Wanda, Black Widow, is all kind of origin stories. I'm still wondering when the new phase is going to start to really form and take shape. Is it going to be after 1-2 movies?
Well, I think I remember reading when I was reading about WandaVision that Monica Rambeau is going to be a part of it. That's cool. Love her Captain Marvel. But also that Scarlet Witch is going to be a part of, I don't know how big a part of, the Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness. I think she's going to be in that, right?
Well, I wonder if she's going to crack open the multiverse and that they're going to have to deal with it in the movie, maybe.
I don't know. I guess we'll see.
Oh, but you were asking me what I read comic book wise last week. I did get Eternals #1.
Nice.
No Makari yet, although his name was they had a list of all the Inhumans. I think she's going to be a she because did they die? Did they all die in the last series of Eternals? I didn't read it.
Oh, are you talking about? Is it the Gaiman John Romita Jr. series?
I don't know. Whatever the last one was, because I guess they're all getting resurrected. They're coming out of this machine. They show Icarus. The base focuses on Icarus. He pops out and
Athena and
they already said we can come back in different forms and stuff because what was it Sprite, who I guess used to be a guy is now a girl. And so, I think was it an alternate cover or the cover for issue 2? Yeah, you could already tell Makari is going to look more like she is going to look in the MCU.
It's interesting. I think it works with the Eternals because they're thousands and thousands of year old space god things,
But I think it leads credence to one of my other theories about someone else because if you read Eternals #1, it so reminds me of the current X-Men books because they had some of similar text pages and stuff and just getting resurrected and coming out of a thing. Yeah, I was just this is reminding me of X-Men. And of course, they had obligatory Icarus is in New York for 2 seconds. So who did he run into? Iron Man. So it's Oh, and then, spoilers. All right, Eternals, keep that in mind. Who shows up on the last page? We need a cosmic menace, kids. A popular cosmic menace. So who shows up on the last page?
Galactus?
No, baby. Think show business. Come on.
Mysterio?
Oh, no,
It's not a cosmic menace.
Well, no, a name everyone knows. Thanos.
A name everyone knows.
Thanos.
Ah, you got me. Thanos.
Because we don't use him a lot.
Has he reached saturation point yet at this point?
How many resurrections has he had?
Is Thanos the Wolverine of the this decade? I don't know.
Something. It seems like they love their villains the last couple of years. Thanos. Joker's big now.
Yeah.
But yeah, so like I said, they use the resurrection to change people around, like Makari, who's going to be played by a woman in the MCU. that's what I think they're doing with the X-Men. I keep saying this, that I think they're using, how if they die, they can resurrect them in those weird pods or whatever. I think they're keeping the X-Men in a holding pattern in the comics so they see what comes in the MCU so they can like alter everyone to be closer to that.
And make it look like the MCU. Yeah, that's something that's kind of bothers me a little bit. The comics are the comics. They inspired the MCU. The MCU is a copy that is really popular, but the comic shouldn't go back to emulating them, because then you get into this weird copy of a copy of a copy of a copy, and you lose, I think, the core of, but that's just me.
I mean, it's like one thing when, like, the Punisher series was on, they were drawing him in the comics of, like, Barenthal. I mean, that's one thing, but it's like, I mean, the first time I can remember it really is like, was it 2000 when the first X-Men movie came out, and all of a sudden in the comics they all had to start wearing black leather. But yeah,
indeed.
I guess they're just like, oh hey, all these people are buying tickets to these movies. Hey, come get some comics. Look, they look just like the movies.
But it's not a comic. It's not like a movie. It's a totally different medium.
All right, so should we dive into this?
Let's do this. Let's do this thing.
All right, kids. So we covered issue 1, the first episode of the Quantum Zone. Well, we recorded it March 21st, 2018. Wow. And it hit the podcast the next day, March 22nd, 2018. Yeah, so we're closing in on our 3-year anniversary, kids.
Wait, there's a before time than now?
Exactly. Before COVID, before riots in the streets, yes.
Failed coups, yeah.
Well, when your mastermind can't spell coup, yeah, it's going to fail.
Yeah.
But yeah, we covered...
We hope. Crossing fingers.
But yeah, episode 1, we covered Quasar number 1 in our Meet the Host. I watched that video on YouTube. Oh my God. You could tell. I mean... I think... I'm choking.
Dude, we had just met, like, moments before, probably.
Well, yeah, I think it was at least a couple days. I think it wasn't on Twitter. Where I even said, I watched a little bit of the video. I was just like, yeah, we got some new guys. I was looking for people to talk Quasar. You were
stuck with us.
You were in a different room, Will. I know Matt was in a different apartment, but that beard was all nicely trimmed. The hair was all nice cut short. I mean,
oh yeah.
Again, the before time.
I was gonna say, yeah. He's like a tree, man. You just like cut that beard in half and count the rings, man. You get see the passage of time.
Oh yeah.
But I was gonna say, one of these days we could do like a live read. I don't think we did a live read of Quasar 1. Like we discussed.
I know you were reading them for quite a while, and then we kind of all started at some point.
Yeah, but I don't think any of us. It was more like, oh hey, look what happened here. Look what
Well, it's. I like what Grunwald did.
Yeah,
because that first issue really is his first chronological appearance. You get introduced to the character before anything else happens to him. This is his origin. This is where he starts. And I think that was a really. It's a really good, compact origin story with lots of stuff going on in it. He sets everything up.
The only thing I thought it might have been missing is like you really could have played into him and his dad's, the tension between them. Because remember his first appearance of Captain America? He's like, oh yeah, Anthony Stark, Tony Stark's boys made these bands for me and stuff. What if Grunwald would have played into that and be like, at first the dad told him, oh yeah, Tony Stark and his guys and
Tony Stark made these, yeah.
And then later on he finds out, he's like, you lied to me? These aren't even from Earth? What?
Good point. Because they have, I think Nick Fury shows up, on the first page? Is that right? Second page?
Oh yeah, because the first page, they're going over
Marvel
the history.
Boy.
They're going over the history of the bands, and they're signing things to come. First page, Marvel Boy.
Yeah. Ouch.
Yeah, because they're going over those Fantastic Four issues we did. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But no, I mean, the first issue is almost more like it's like not even like as much Wendell was more about the quantum bands. It's like following the quantum band's journey.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and then where he comes in, and at the end, he's now they're basically part of each other. Story moving on forward from there, which is really kind of cool. Grunwald, he did something really well. Number 2, we'll move on to number 2 in a minute, but I'll continue on there. But number 1, he did. The bands are the bands in number 1. They're just these things. What do they call them? The Uranian energy bands or something like that.
I know they called that earlier appearances, but I don't know if they even said that in this issue. I think it was just like I don't know if it's just like the bands or. Oh yeah, because look at this. He totally could have played into the dad line doing about the bands. Because Nick Fury even says, hey, Tony Stark's sitting there and he says, "Oh yeah, can your guys take a look at these?"
Yeah, exactly.
Although maybe that was Grunwald's subtle nod to, "Oh yeah, hey, remember that first issue? They said that it came from Tony Stark."
Was the checklist in this issue, or was that in issue 2? I think that was in issue 2, wasn't it?
I think so, yeah, because this one didn't even have a letters. Well, I don't think this one even had a letters, of course. Yeah, no, because it didn't have a letters page, because, it had an extra page of story.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, there's a lot of really cool things that happen in those, like, first 7 or 8 issues. You get the science sections.
Yeah.
Awesome. You get the checklist. You get an interview with Wendell by somebody in the Marvel Universe, which is...
I know.
Cool things.
But yeah, episode 2 and 3. Well, episode 2, was Quasar 2. Will was not even on for that one. That's like each of you missed like one.
One I've missed, yeah.
That's like the one you missed. Yeah, it was me and Matt Kona talking Quasar 2.
And, that issue, I think, really did more to cement what Quasar was going to be about for me than, number 1. Because Grunwald did kind of give us the history of the bands without actually giving us a history of the bands.
Yeah. Well, it's like, page 2 and 3 is basically, okay, here's what happened in issue 1. Here's all the stuff that came in between, like Project Pegasus.
Yeah, all of those appearances.
I mean, look at those wordy page. It's just yellow text box after yellow text box. The serpent crown. Then his dad, hey son, why don't you go into space?
Yeah, you're depressed. Why don't you go be alone for 3 years? That's that'll help.
Follow the advice, and you wonder why he has issues later on.
He does. But then, we get Death Urge, and Grunwald did set up. The next time we meet, you'll beg me to kill you, and I won't. Which is pretty kind of chilling, and you're like, whoa, that dude's not right, And that's obviously Grunwald knew where he was going because he could set that up in issue 2, and it doesn't pay off until issue 23,
something like that. Yeah, so it's probably like
22 or 23,
around
something
20
like
issues.
that,
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And like the Death Urge was like a big clue too, because like in like earlier Avengers issues, wasn't Death Urge working with Maelstrom?
Yep, and that was a huge clue, and I totally missed it. Completely missed it.
And of course, we meet Eon in this.
Mm-hmm. Who had really only appeared at that point in, a single issue of Captain Marvel? The original Captain Marvel?
I think so. That's the only place I remember him before that. It was just like, basically, he's like, oh yeah, you're protector of the universe. Here's some cosmic awareness. Okay, goodbye.
Yeah, go. There you go. Go off and do your thing. Fight Thanos.
Oh yeah, he wasn't living in Captain Marvel's garage or nothing, no.
Yeah.
Or behind his bookcase, no.
I think it was, Captain Marvel 25?
I think, yeah, it was in the middle of like when he was fighting Thanos.
Mm-hmm.
Well, one of the times. I'll look this up. Oh, and I'll look up Eon's first appearance. But the most important thing of issue 2 is gave us our first of many Uranus jokes.
It's the gift that keeps on giving.
Uranus is the gift that keeps on giving, kids.
That's right.
Abstract.
Well, and then the kind of immediate, hey, I'm opening your minds to the full power of the band, so now you can quantum jump. Boom, boom.
Yeah, you don't have to make
back on Earth.
You don't have to make another 3-year trip home. Yeah.
Yeah, let me go get my gear. What? Here, we're just going to quantum jump, dude. I wasted 3 years of my life. Why didn't you tell me this before I got here?
I know, it's like prepared to quantum jump. Why can't I find the...
Now, the Uranian Eternals.
Oh, yes, they talked about them in issue 2.
Yeah, they figure in heavily for Marvel Boy. We did some of those early Marvel Boy reprints. But at this point, they're all dead. And it looks like Death Urge was potentially the cause of that. It looks like Grunwald was trying to stitch together a reason for Marvel Boy to come back to Earth and go nuts,
Yeah.
So I think that story is in a What If backup story. They tell the fate of the Uranian Eternals. I think it's in that checklist. Do you have the letter page for number 2?
Number 2, yeah. Let's see. We got... Yeah, because thank you, Marvel Unlimited. You still don't have all the Quasar issues on there.
Yeah, jeez.
Yeah, here's the check. Yeah, what do you want, the checklist?
Yeah, doesn't it mention, like, What If volume...
Oh, it just says What If number 9.
Oh, okay.
So
I think that has what happens to the Uranian Eternals in it, if I remember right.
Yeah, the story of the founding of the Uranian colony is told in the Untold Tales of the Marvel Universe, featured in What If Volume 1... Oh, wait, no. Untold Tales of the Marvel Universe, featured in What If Volume 1, 23 through 28.
Oh. And I don't think I've ever picked those up to read those.
Yeah, I don't know if I've read those either. Go back and read those. Or see if they're on Marvel Unlimited. Okay, here it is. Eon has appeared in Captain Marvel 28 and 29.
Ah, okay. I was close.
So, yeah, so it was only in 2 back-to-back issues of Captain Marvel before this.
Mm-hmm.
So at this point, like, Grunwald was kind of digging deep because, this cosmic figure who had only appeared in 2 issues.
Yeah, and those issues were what, like late 70s?
Something like that.
I think they were late 70s. Starlin was doing them, so...
I don't know if they were even late 70s.
Mm-hmm. And this was...
Oh, we're going to get to some of those, kids.
Yep, we will.
Here we go. Captain Marvel 27, part of the Thanos War. Oh, no. It's 1973.
Wow, okay, so they were even earlier than I thought, yeah. And so this is like... Quasar debuted in...
89.
89, so we're looking at 16 years later, yeah. So the character had not been used for a decade and a half. And that's one of the cool things about Grunwald is...
Oh, yeah, he knew his Marvel history and stuff, yeah.
He had, this encyclopedic knowledge of the Marvel Universe, which is pretty awesome.
All right, Kona, any thoughts? Do you remember reading that Quasar number 2?
Well, I think Quasar 2, kind of ironically, was one of the first that I grabbed my attention in the bins, But Destiny Amidst the Ruins, that's the one. But I really dug it. It kind of just got me into, I felt for this guy. It wasn't something that I had ever read about a superhero comic book before. This guy is just so isolated, and at the end of his rope, it's almost like a suicide mission, and then the way it kind of comes out of it. And of course, I love Owatu. So, plus the art is awesome, and I mean, it's just this is right before Marvel kind of changed a little bit of the aesthetic, as you see in the box on the top corner of the cover, and the way they, Quasar still got the old uniform and stuff like that. So it's a lot older than, or it feels a lot older than it is, although it's 2020 now, and this was 2021, sorry, and this is early 90s, yeah. But I don't know. I love it. I love the early ones, for sure. Very rambly, not very to the point. But that's what
Wait, you just described our entire show, dude.
Well, no.
And of course he loves it because it's bearded Quasar.
Yeah.
Well, the greatest, the most underrated Quasar.
Oh, and of course, and for our times, he was wearing a mask for the first half of it.
Oh, that's true. Yeah.
Nose and mouth. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
So that was 2, and then of course episode 3 was just me and Will, and we covered Captain America 379. So that was a Cap and Quasar team up against Nefaria.
Oh yeah, that's right. Wow, it's been a long time since I've read that one.
Well, yeah, 3 years probably.
Yeah, and it was a shorter issue too, because didn't that have a backup story?
Yeah, it had the one. Yeah, because the Serpent Society came after Diamondback to put her on trial. Yeah, so so it was like a short story. Yeah. Remember, Quasar and Cap are jogging in the park, and then it's like, oh, hey, there's a disturbance nearby. So we did that. And then everyone was back for episode 4, Quasar number 3, with the torch.
The torch. Oh, yeah.
And our buddy.
Our cursing.
Our buddy, the Angler. That's right.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, and of course, and he met, Quasar met his groupie, Kayla.
Kayla, that's right. And I don't know, this one, to me, was a little bit of a letdown after the first 2 issues, because it was, I don't know, I'm trying to figure it was kind of more concerned with the past and him trying to set up the stuff for the future, so it's kind of in this limbo. It's,
yeah.
I don't know. I mean, it's a solid issue. It's just not one of my favorites.
Well, again, until we get the Journey, it's like almost like a straight up super. It's not.
Yeah, they're just solid superhero stories. There's not a whole lot of. I mean, I like the character, but you're right. It's just pretty. It's solid superhero stories that are fairly generic. But and I like the character.
But yeah, like you said, I mean, this issue is just a lot of setup. He's renting the office space that he'll.
Yeah.
Pretty much never use and just give the cat.
Stop coming in the window. You're going to spook the clients.
And then, of course, he sees Kayla. I mean, she's got a lot of, I'm sure she'll be a good secretary assistant or whatever. It's like, she's basically wearing a jacket and a bra for a top. It's like, huh?
This was the 80s. Okay.
Oh, we know what Wendell was thinking.
Yeah.
Yeah, and our buddy the Angler, of course.
And it's the stereotypical, hey, you're a bad guy. Wait, no, I'm not a bad guy.
Well,
yes, you are.
Well, he broke in the. He really didn't say he wasn't a bad guy. Will he said?
Yeah. No, I mean the Torch thinking.
Oh yeah.
Wendell was Marvel Boy. Yeah.
Misunderstanding. Yeah. Holy smokes! It's Marvel Boy.
And then he gripes to the Torch. Hey, I was trying not to break that.
Yes. And then after this one, episode 5 and 6 were those Avengers 302 and 303 when he goes to Chicago and meets the Avengers.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Supernova.
The Supernova Saga.
Oh yeah.
The big purple guy who's not Galactus.
And who's not Nova Prime ish.
Quasar had fly Reed Richards back and forth to New York and back.
Oh, and then after that, there's a backup story in an annual that takes place immediately after that, where the East Coast and the West Coast are like, no, I want him. Let's have a bidding war.
They basically show Quasar's initiation.
Yeah.
We did get there eventually, but because after the episode 7, I'm sure you remember, Marvel Comics presents 29, and then New Warriors #1 because he was in one panel, one page.
One panel, yeah. I think he didn't even speak. I think in the one panel, did he?
I think he said something like, "All right, Cap," or something.
Yeah, really important. Very brilliant.
Yeah. But then, we got a lot of Avengers stuff. We got that event. We basically went Avengers 305 through 308. Was that the Lava Men or whatever?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, because we didn't get the Quasar 4 until episode 12.
Wow. Which is Aquarium, which was, again, dealing more with stuff from the past, and also bringing back, was it Quantum from the West Coast Avengers?
Yep. That cover, Quantum Rain. Kona, we made a Prince joke, right?
Quantum Rain.
I know we had to.
Yeah. If not, now we have.
And for any of you, especially you, Ray, I mean, anyone who hasn't been listening since day one, I think it's on the podcast, but I mean, the easiest way I'd say is go to YouTube. I got a playlist. It's all the Quantum Zone episodes. So
cool. Yeah, this one was.
Well, it starts off with him basically flying into the office. He's like, "Man, his Avengers stuff's been keeping me busy."
Yeah.
I don't know if maybe like he went hot, like went further too when he wasn't like really in the thick of it with the Avengers, because like at this point it's like basically like, you know, Grunwald's trying to juggle. Okay, I got to find that menace from space that's coming, and oh hey, I've been on several Avengers missions. I got to time that out too.
Yeah.
Well, and then this was still, the next issue kicks in Acts of Vengeance, which we get a good, pretty much Quasar-focused issue of Avengers. Him defending Avengers Island, and then we've got his regular series too. So that was pretty good, and I feel like that was Grunwald, pushing the character to try to get him in front of more people.
Oh yeah.
Although
too, I mean, pretty much, I think every book at Marvel basically had an Acts of Vengeance, didn't they? At that point, I mean, if you were a superhero book, you pretty much had an Acts of it.
I mean, it was really an Avengers crossover, right?
Yeah, but I mean, even still, I think like the Hulk was out west, and he still got like a at least one Acts of Vengeance tie-in.
Yeah, wasn't it like Absorbing Man or something? I can't remember. He was the Grey Hulk.
The Grey Hulk, Grey Gargoyle.
Grey Gargoyle.
Because the Grey Gargoyle tracked down Banner and turned him to stone, and as soon as night fell, he's like, "Oh my god, nothing stops that transformation."
It just happens.
But he's like, "Oh, okay, the Hulk's still stone. That's fine." But I guess the Hulk's healing factor just shrugged it off, and the Hulk just starts messing him up. Yeah, no, because remember, issue 5, Quasar fought the Absorbing Man. That's
right. There you go.
Remember, he tried to absorb the power of the bands and blew himself up.
Yeah, and then comes back later. Where did he come? He showed back up in Thor?
Yes, Eric Masterson, yeah.
Yeah.
Thor 436, yeah.
Do we know how he came back? It was just magic?
It's like all those guys, like the Absorbing Man and CM, they can pull their molecules back together, basically.
Oh, and like his wrecking ball or something, too, was...
Yeah, the Avengers had it, and it just crashes out of Avengers Mansion. Because we got 2 Acts of Vengeance issues. Because remember, issue 6 with the Red Ghost and the Watcher, the Living Laser,
and don't blink or you'll miss Venom
on the first page. That's right. But thank you, Venom, because I mean, if Venom had not been in this issue, we wouldn't have got, I think, our first official drop.
Sparkly quantum tentacles.
Nice.
I'm pretty sure that's where that's from. Yeah, he just because Quasar wraps him up in quantum webbing or whatever.
Yeah.
And Matt Kona uttered that phrase.
Sparkly quantum tentacles?
So I forget, for some reason, I think Lilith edited this one for me, and she was like, you gotta use this. I was like, okay.
I actually really enjoyed that number 6. I mean, because he got off Earth. He was, on the moon. We had the Red Ghost. We had the Watcher. Yeah, I mean, it was kind of fun. And
the Living Laser that would come.
And the Living Laser, yeah, which we get a really good story from the Living Laser with a great cover. But that's beyond the scope of this retrospective.
Yes. All right, so let's see, 5, 6. So after we did Quasar 5 and 6, we did a book near and dear to Matt Kona's heart, Marvel Team Up 113.
Oh yeah, they're dear to my heart, and piles of them in my. I don't know where they are. Somewhere. Maybe I'll find them while I'm cleaning out this future baby room.
Because we did that, because for episode 17 we did Quasar number 7, the Cosmic Spider-Man guest appearance.
Mm-hmm. With Terminus and that was Terminus.
Yeah, Terminus.
And he had to throw him off the planet.
Yeah, and he needs Spider-Man's help. I mean, it doesn't say Acts of Vengeance, but shouldn't it have been Acts of Vengeance crossover, because that's when Spider-Man had those cosmic powers, is during the Acts of Vengeance.
Yeah, I would think that it should have been, but
But I guess Terminus is basically no one's enemy, or it's like what, an Avengers enemy, and he's an Avenger.
Yeah, he's more just showing back up, I guess. And that was a pretty good issue too, because he's like, hey, it showed that he was, like unlike a lot of characters, I'm going to go handle this myself. He's like, whoa, hey, I just met, Cosmic Spider-Man. I'm sure he can help me with this. Let's go get him and we'll take care of this together.
Yeah, like something like a quantum band signal, yeah. I don't know, I was like kind of disappointed that we didn't get more Quasar and Spider-Man interactions. It was basically this issue, Marvel Team Up 113. I mean, they really never had any one-on-one interaction besides those two.
Yeah, and even in Marvel Team Up Annual number 5 with Serpent Crown, there wasn't much.
Because I was going to say there was a 3-issue spectacular Spider-Man, which I think we're going to get to, but all the Avengers were there, so it's like it really wasn't.
Yeah, it's just. It's not like. That's one thing I really liked about Grunwald is he remembered and played up the fact that Quasar and the Thing knew each other and were kind of pals.
In Marvel Team Up 113, our first attempt at a giveaway by Matt Kona.
That's right.
Yeah, oh yeah. I gave some away. People got some free comic books. So
yes, some young guy got a.
It was just a really nice package.
But then after that one, we covered the Project Pegasus from Marvel 2-in-1, Project Pegasus Saga, because episode 25 was Quasar number 8.
Cool. We went back to Project Pegasus. Yeah, that was pretty cool.
Yes, and for the absolutely last Secret Wars 2, or no, Secret
he
Wars.
He was kind of reaching there. Iron Man's armor didn't work. That he got on Battleworld didn't work because pseudoscientific reasons, because it was a living thing.
Well, it was Jim Rhodes too, so he's like he couldn't repair it, so he just froze the components away. Yeah, and again, there's precedent for stuff that coming back from that Battleworld that come alive. As Spider-Man,
the precedent had been set.
Oh, and do you remember who Quasar ran across at the beginning of this issue?
I don't remember. Was it the Absorbing Man? No,
he was checking.
Was it? He was checking Dr. Minerva and Atlas?
No, he was checking for extraterrestrials and had a quick meeting with
Warlock and the New Mutants.
Yep. Ding, ding, ding.
Yeah.
He does a Groucho Marx imitation and a few other things.
Yeah, Marvin the Martian. Yeah. The Quasar takes up. We better go tell Cable about this.
Oh yeah, because that was when that was just around the time that Rob Liefeld had taken over the New Mutants. I think Ann Nocenti may have been writing, but then before they were rebooted as X-Force and all those number ones, and X-Men was rebooted around this time. So it's
and we got that man who cares about your health, Blue Shield.
Yeah. His buddy Blue Cross is nowhere to be found, though.
Remember we had. So the very next episode, one of our personal favorites, Quasar number 9, with Modam.
Yeah. And this is where we get into Captain Atlas and Minerva wanting the quantum bands because they recognize them as the. Wait a minute. Legendary power bands of Ren? Is that what they are?
Something like that, yeah. Because they go to AIM, they're like, what? Do they want replicas? Or they want we wish to require working replicas. They offered them AIM $100 million. Yeah, because remember, the AIM's like, we tried to acquire them before, and it was, talking about Quasar number 1. So then after he beats Modam, AIM's like, we're going to get that Quasar, and then never seen again.
And then we'll never see them again, ever.
Although I guess you could say, he spent a lot of time off Earth, so when did they have the chance? That would have been a story after Quasar 60 if they would have went after them fake bands he made.
Yeah. And just been annoyances to the Presence and the Dark Star. Yeah, that would be kind of cool. That's a good backstory.
Somebody write that, or hey, Marvel, pay Will Allred to write that story. And then the next episode, you guessed it, Quasar 10, Minerva and Captain Atlas, trying to cut them bands off him.
Yeah, that was an interesting issue because it was kind of anticlimactic. It was it helps reinforce that his first instinct is not to fight and hurt somebody. It's always kind of defensive and bubble them up and all that fun stuff. But
it's basically,
I thought it was really. I mean, they rendered him unconscious so easily and took him off world, just like that. It was no big deal.
Well, they followed him home and he fell asleep, and then I think they just did something to him to keep him asleep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then Eon invaded his dream and said, "Yeah, you're going to lose that arm."
As a crab, yeah. But then at the end he's like, "Yeah, get out of my solar system," or whatever, and it's just like, why didn't you just take him and lock him in the vault or something?
Or quantum jump them to the Kree homeworld and say, "Here you go, bye," and then come back home.
And this is pretty much like our first reference in the series to Captain Marvel.
Mm-hmm. Who we're going to talk about.
Oh, yes. That's right. Can't wait. My little Rick Jones over there.
Rick Jones is my spirit animal.
Wile E. Coyote is my spirit animal.
And then after that, we got that Avengers 317 and 318 with Nebula.
Oh, that's part of the universe blinking out. Yeah,
Nebula and the Stranger. Yeah,
with Nebula. Yeah, those not awesome.
Remember when Nebula was Thanos' grandniece or whatever, and not his daughter, his adopted daughter. Oh, that's sliding time. And then after those two, Quasar 11, Excalibur.
That was actually a pretty good issue, I thought.
Yeah.
Oh, and we haven't mentioned it yet, but from number 7 up to number 17, Mike Manley is doing the art.
Oh, that's right. Yes, we went from Paul Ryan to Mike Manley. Yes.
Mm-hmm. I think Paul moved on to Fantastic Four, maybe, and then he eventually moved over to DC and was doing Superman.
Yeah, he did some Superman. I'm trying to remember. He did a bunch of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I remember his Fantastic Four run. Hey, well, he penciled it during Star Blast.
Oh, yeah.
We don't have to mention that here.
But yeah, I thought 11 was pretty good because even though, we found out something that the quantum bands could not affect his magic. They're not part of the electromagnetic spectrum. And he had to get saved, but he was also working on a way to save himself before, Excalibur showed up to save him. So I think that's...
Yeah, we started to see some of that defeat, some of that attitude he gets sometimes. It's like, man, some protector I turned out to be. Excalibur had to save me.
Yeah, I know.
I like a good Excalibur appearance, especially in a non-mutant book. It didn't happen a lot, but yeah, it's kind of cool.
It's nice exposure for both, Quasar and Excalibur.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Quasar might be huge in England as a result.
It could be.
Yeah.
I would love to see Alan Davis draw a Quasar. That would be awesome.
Well, did he draw Quasar in some of those later Avengers issues?
I think he did. He showed up during the Hulk crossover? Or the Hulk there were lots of Hulks or something. It was before the Kang War.
Yeah, was that the Presence with all those Hulks?
I think it was. Yeah, I think the Presence had been... because I think we find out that Vanguard is suddenly back to life, so the Presence doesn't care about Quasar anymore, so it doesn't matter. I can't remember. It's been a long time since I've read those. Yes.
All right, so yes, and then next episode we did Quasar number 12. Which was that, the Deviants?
The dozen.
Yep.
Yeah.
And I'm trying to remember, is this the...
That's where his father dies. Spoilers. This is a retrospective. Hopefully you're expecting spoilers.
Exactly. And it's kind of where we cement the relationship between him and Makari.
Mm-hmm.
Because remember, was it?
I think Makari had showed up the issue before.
I think, yeah, because he like knocked him into the ocean and knocked him out.
Yeah. Oops.
This is like the first time they actually have a conversation. Yeah, because he left him with the West Coast Avengers, then he goes back, and Wonder Man's like, "Oh no, that dude took off."
Oh yeah. Oh, and isn't that doesn't Grunwald explain about Makari's speech pattern? He goes, "We just updated it because hey, here's a panel from his first appearance, and he's all '60s groovy, man."
Well, he doesn't say that in this issue, but yeah, I remember. Yeah, they eventually say that. Oh yeah, this is the one where he lets the Blood Brothers beat the crap out of him.
Oh yeah.
Oh, and of course, I believe this was the first appearance also on the last page of Miss H.D. Steckley.
Oh, that's right. And so it would be a year pretty much for her reveal, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Grunwald was really in it for the long game on this one. I mean, he really was. 'Cause he set a lot of things up early on that, didn't knock those dominoes over for a year or two in some instances.
And it took us even longer to get there too, because after 12 for the next 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, like 7 episodes, we did the crossing line in the issue after it.
I kind of remember those vaguely.
The crossing line here. I'm going to throw a net over this Russian. Oh, my corner net missed. Just ridiculousness like that. Instead of Quasar just bubbling up the whole submarine or something.
Yeah, and I think it had started out because it didn't Fabian Nicieza write that, right? Mm-hmm. It started out as a big epic thing that got condensed down into shorter chapters because there was a backup story, right?
Each one, yeah.
Craziness.
Oh, but then after the crossing line for the next 3, that brought us, I believe, to December. So for 3 episodes of Quantumus. Remember Quasar's first appearance from Captain America 217, and then the 229 and 230 and the Hulk, the Captain America and Hulk issues.
Oh, we got the your name is stupid.
Yeah, we ended the year with Marvel Man. That's a stupid name.
I love that. It's so awesome because it genuinely hurts his feelings. I mean, it would hurt my feelings too.
Exactly.
Mean kids.
And then we started the second year with episode 42. It started Journey into Mystery.
Journeys into Mystery is, and I know I've said this and you guys are sick of saying it, but this is where Quasar really became Quasar and the book just took off.
That's where it started getting more cosmic, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, and we get we get the X Squadron Supreme, we get the Stranger, we get Overmind, we get Stranger's Lab World, and a huge cast of long forgotten characters from Marvel. Yeah. One of which is the Presence.
Grunwald really flexing his nerd muscle in Journey of all these characters that have been seen for a while. And, and issue 13 is when he first goes to talk to them. Goes to Marvel's grave.
Yeah, and that is an awesome Jim Lee cover.
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm. Which is, I mean, it's really cool because for the Journeys into Mystery, they brought in guest cover artists, and you had Jim Lee, you had Todd McFarlane. You had Mike Mignola and Steve Lytle to do those 4 issues, and those covers are just awesome. Really, really awesome covers.
Yeah, but this story brought in the Squadron Supreme, which we'll be talking about for the next 13 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
And I think maybe one of Makari's best lines from this series, when Quasar's like, "Oh, hey, Makari, this is the X Squadron Supreme," and he's like, "Oh, just what this world needs, another X group."
Yeah, that's a good one.
What was that Grunwald just being all meta? Be like, "Oh, it's just what we need, another X group." So yes,
and he actually uses Makari to repair some of the damage, to the squadron. He makes Hyperion be able to see again, because we find out that Hyperion wasn't really from the planet Argon and had Argonite as his weakness. He was an Eternal on his Earth. Which I think is slightly better,
Yeah.
As an origin story
Well,
goes.
I mean, yeah, they cleaned up that origin because, I mean, originally wasn't it the Squadron Sinister first, but it was like they were just made to be, so the Avengers would have a Justice League.
A Justice League to fight. Absolutely, yeah. Absolutely.
And then after that, we got Quasar 17, the first Galactic Marathon.
Mm-hmm. Well, but let's jump back to 16. 16 was a double-sized issue.
Yes, the first one,
which was, and it ties up a lot of that. It ties up all of the journeys into mystery, but we also get Quasar jumping around looking for the Stranger. In previous issues, meeting up with a Watcher, punching a Watcher out because a Watcher was attacking him. I mean, Watchers are extraordinarily powerful, so it was cool to see him, kind of play at that level, and
giving our boys some cred. Yeah,
and he saves the entire race of Watchers, with just some basic logic. Hey,
intelligence can sometimes supersede strength. I like it.
They called it the Oblivion Plague, and we find out where that comes from later. But yeah, I mean, Journeys is okay. That's actually a good question. Where Journeys is cosmic, right? Journeys into Mystery is a 4-part cosmic epic. Where do you rate it amongst the cosmic echelon of cosmic stories from Marvel? Because I always talk about Cosmos being the best. What are some of the Infinity Gauntlet's always rated up there. The original Marvel, the Korvac saga, the original Thanos saga. What other cosmic? What ranks up there for Marvel cosmic?
I mean, I think Journey is it's at least as good as that original Thanos saga and Korvac. I mean, Korvac gets all the attention because every Avenger at the time was in it and stuff. But it's definitely. But I think it's definitely head and shoulders above Infinity Gauntlet and stuff. Starling pushing his warlock bias.
What do you think, Matt?
Yeah, Matt.
Warlock? I don't know. I feel like my insights are very less nuanced. I don't know, but I mean, I tend to agree with you. I really can't think of that many times over the course of this podcast where I've had any major disagreements in terms of liking the story or the art and whatever. But it's hard to me to be too critical, especially for the territory we're covering today with the first 25 issues, But so that's it. I don't know. I'm not doing.
Well, and you know what? We've got Journeys and Cosmos in one trade paperback.
Yeah,
I know. And I'm very grateful for that. Yeah.
Me too.
All right. So after that, yes, we got the Cosmic Marathon.
Mm-hmm. With Buried Alien.
That's right.
Flash of brilliance. Yes.
Thank you. That deserves that. Yes.
Yeah.
Bravo.
But all the speedsters of Earth in this one.
And then, which is a good story, because you get, and Grunwald loved the DC characters, and I know we've said this before, but Quasar really does have a Silver Age DC kind of feel as a character, but in the modern Marvel universe, he's about responsibility. He's about, doing the right thing for the right reason and trying to help people, which Marvel at that time, you had your Wolverine and your Ghost Rider and the Midnight Suns and, all of these, the Punisher and all of these, anti-heroes and, things were getting kind of grim and gritty and dark, right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah, because, remember, this is Quasar is one of the guys Captain America didn't have to worry about talking about,
Yeah.
Terminating people, yeah.
Yeah, for, going out and killing the Supreme Intelligence, not killing the Supreme Intelligence as it appears.
So, but then after that, we got a quite offbeat issue, Quasar 18.
Which has a great drop in it, by the way. So,
oh, yes, another big drop was born then, yes.
And I'm visiting nursing homes with bad intentions.
But yeah, basically Quasar trying to piece together, hey, what happened to me? I remember last episode we were like, oh, was 60 the only appearance of the sister? No, Wendell's sister was in 18, so.
Well, and 18 is an extremely important issue. For one, it sets up something in Cosmos and Collision. It's also the last non-Cosmos and Collision issue of, this kind of run of stories. But it's also the first issue that Greg Capullo was penciler.
Oh, yeah,
which
that's
is
right.
Pretty darn cool. And he would go on to pencil all of Cosmos and Collision. He was out for 2 or 3 issues. So nearly 20 issues. Actually, I can check and tell you exactly how many he did that. But yeah, Quasar really looked, Paul Ryan's look, the book had a look when Paul Ryan was doing it. It was good.
Yeah.
Good, solid superheroes. It had a look when Mike Manley was doing it, and it was good, solid hero stuff. And Manley would go on to do Batman and lots of other things. But it started looking it looked different. There was something different about it when Capullo took over doing the art, and that's.
But yeah, I like that too. Yeah, like these early issues. I think that was the problem with later on, because it's like here, it's like there's definite Paul Ryan handled that first chunk that was like basically superhero stories, and then we got Mike Manley doing as we're ramping up to the cosmic stuff. But then once we hit full cosmic, we got Greg Capullo.
All right. He penciled 17 issues of Quasar, so almost a third of it.
Ooh, nice. But yeah, 18 we got Origin and the Unbeing, and of course, retroactively, Quasar gets a new costume.
Important.
That's right.
Very important.
And then once he's basically, destroyed or whatever, the Unbeing's talking to some shadowy figure.
Mm-hmm. And then, boom.
That's right.
We are into Cosmos and Collision.
Oh, we teased people, because after 18, we did a big run of Avengers. It was like from 329 through 339. So, we hit them with, the cupcakes, the collection obsession. I thought Will was going to slit his wrist during that period of time.
Not the cupcake again.
No. So yes, we don't have to go into that. But yes, Cosmos and Collision started with episode 60. Quasar 19 was episode 60.
Wow.
Yeah, man, we got some mileage out of those Avengers issues.
Well, and what do you guys think of the way Grunwald kind of set up Cosmos? Because in those issues, in the first, 6 issues of Cosmos, there's a prologue. There's a prologue for each one of those issues. And he really is filling in a lot of the backstory until the big reveal of Maelstrom in, is it 22?
Oh, what?
22, 23? Sounds right.
22 or 23. 23 is the Ghost Rider cover.
Oh, yeah.
Because it was the 90s, right?
Yeah. It's the law.
It's the law that you have to have a Spider-Man, a Ghost Rider. Is there? I don't know about our Wolverine.
Punisher.
Unless Wolverine was on the cover of one of those Infinity War crossovers, so technically you got a Wolverine, but yeah, not like solo Wolverine. So yeah, he hit all the 90s marks.
Yeah, but yeah, it was.
Oh,
I really feel like all the work that Grunwald and Paul Ryan and Mike Manley, and to a certain extent even Greg Capullo and that single issue, all the work that they did just paid off so well in those 7 issues. It's awesome. It is the best Marvel Cosmic, bar none.
Oh yeah, I'd say so. Oh, but 19, a lot of important stuff. Wendell and Kayla's first date. Him and Makari get that apartment.
Yeah, that we see only once again, maybe
so
twice.
Then, of course, a battle with Jack of Hearts. Oh, and then the first time... Oh, no, we saw him in Journey, but the return of the Presence.
Yep. Oh, and it is great the way... I mean, and I remember this panel. I just love this panel. Eon has given Wendell his heart, right?
Oh, yeah.
And he's put it in a quantum football. And he hands it off to the thing and has, carries something else,
I think he makes another quantum container, but but you can't see through it, so the Presence.
And you see the thing just kind of sitting there whistling. I think he's actually
he's
got
holding it
a
behind his
musical
back.
Which is awesome.
Because Wendell's been working in Four Freedoms Plaza, so issue 20 we finally get an appearance by the Fantastic Four.
And then at the end of Mr. Fantastic or Reed Richards is like, why is there an interdimensional portal in my building?
And what is it? Oh, let me find this. I think Wendell's like, I don't see it. Oh wait, he's like, gee, Dr. Richards, I must have missed the part in my lease that said no extra dimensional portals allowed. Well,
and that issue, he goes from the highest of kind of highs. He's beaten the Cosmic Assassin. He's saved the universe. He's done everything.
So he thinks, yeah.
He thinks, and then boom, Quasar. I mean, Makari and Kayla kiss because of Moondragon, right?
Yes.
And he goes home to his father.
Finds out his father's been dead.
His father's been dead for quite a while, and then boom, and we get the evil shape. I have broken up Quasar and Eon. Ha ha.
Yes. Yeah, because Wendell tells Eon he quits. And then 21 is what, his dad's funeral? Yeah.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
Quasar and not Quasar, Makari runs out, to get him to save him because, hey, you're beating that guy to a pulp, It's just some poor super villain who showed up on the wrong day.
But yeah, no, 21's the big one, yeah, because we get that prologue in the beginning, the mysterious figure, saying, oh, hey, Oblivion, let's team up, guy.
Yeah.
And then
let's team up, bro.
And then Quasar and his friends have the worst dinner ever.
I mean, their host gets kind of handsy.
Oh! That's right. The last page of that issue, man. Oh.
Yep.
Cuts them hands off. Next issue, A Long Day's Journey into Death.
Which is Ghost Rider on the cover.
No.
Oh, we're on 22? Oh, that cover. Yeah, 22.
21, okay. It was the one with the end with him on the table. Yeah, no, 22. Remember when he, quote unquote, sees Marvel?
Yep, and his father. And yeah, because Eon doesn't really talk to him until after what's the name of the death?
Oh yes, I was going to say yes because at the end of 22 we get the appearance of everyone's favorite Matt Conan impression, Kid Reaper.
Kid Reaper, thank you.
Kids love Bunky. my vocal cords not always. A very ridiculous character,
but totally awesome. Awesome.
I mean, he basically comes somewhat from Wendell's unconscious or whatever.
Mm-hmm. His own personal death avatar. I think he even says you read too many Harvey comics as a kid or something. And he does show up again later, of course, after the Infinity War thingy.
Well, yeah, number 40? Yeah, when he supposedly nullifies himself. Yeah.
Yeah.
But okay, we keep talking about it. Quasar 23 with Ghost Rider.
There we go. That's the one.
Yes, because the flashback in the beginning is Maelstrom telling the Presence, "Oh yeah, the big cosmic menace is Eon. If you get back to Earth, hey, you can do something about that."
Why don't you try to take him out?
Yeah, exactly. Then we just get Ghost Rider storming the mansion.
And that's I think what the issue 20. I think the title of it is Stalking Horse, which is what the presence is. You know, he's a decoy, right? Which is, you know, pretty awesome.
Yeah.
And yeah, this is when things kick into high gear in 23. Quasar blows Eon's brain up, you know.
Yeah.
And then, yeah, the Maelstrom uses the quantum bands to, like, stop the Earth's rotation.
And we get a lot of the local magic people, Doctor Strange, Shaman. Maybe even Dr. Druid, Brother Voodoo. I'm kind of trying to remember the circle of mystics that are helping.
It's not even just mystics. It's everyone feels it. Mr. Fantastic, Moondragon, Dr. Druid, Orchid, Phoenix, Doctor Strange, Moonglow, the Black Crow, Talisman, Shaman, and you see Spider-Man with his big spider sense going on. Spider-Man. So yeah. Oh, and then so Quasar blinks out, but then Quasar 24.
Yeah.
When Maelstrom just goes around, starts like threatening people, you know, like Galactus and stuff. Be like,
and he gets a nice jab in on Thanos. I thought I really enjoyed that bit.
But the flashback at the beginning of the issue is him, going to the creepy kid from 18. Like, hey, can you
I want to get on the Earth without tripping the barrier. Can you undo him for a minute?
Yeah, exactly. It wasn't just like a random thing. It's like, yeah, can you nullify him for just long enough for me to slip past that barrier? But yeah, I mean, just this whole issue is just first he threatens the Watcher, and then
he talks to the Celestials. I mean, he goes and hits pretty much all the big the big cosmic kahunas, you know.
Galactus even makes himself bigger than, he's like, oh, bigger than Galactus. Then he creates that giant black hole.
Yeah, and then doesn't he there's a line where he's talking to Death Earth, just put that Watcher's eye out, right?
Yeah. Death Earth shows like some black sides at his eyes,
Yeah.
But yeah, just like Doctor Strange and the Mystics trying to hold the Earth together, and then Quasar becomes the Avatar of Infinity.
Yes, that's pretty awesome.
And then it seems kind of almost anticlimactic at first, because at the end of this issue, Maelstrom kind of gets crushed by the black hole.
Except,
I know. Quasar's like, well, how do I shut this thing down?
Yeah.
Yeah, it brings us.
And which brings us to 25, which is it's double sized.
Yeah, so I was thinking, Quasar had three extra sized issues, 16, 25, and 50.
I think so.
I think that's the only ones. Yeah.
Yeah, I think some of them may had an extra page here or there.
Yeah.
Star Blast. But there is a double page spread in 25 that is just absolutely amazing. It's got the Celestials, it's got the Watchers, and they're all looking around the giant black hole, right? Yep.
But yeah, I mean, basically this black hole is sucking the entire universe in, and nobody can stop it. Not even the Celestials, nobody. But
yeah, and look at the way you get a complete summary by working around, the lettering, all of the text, the Watcher's saying, you get a complete summary of the previous 6 issues of, and then they disappear to the black hole and nobody's seen them since. Which brings us up to now.
Well, yeah, just that Capullo art, like Quasar in his energy form and stuff.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Oh, this is where he finally remembers that, just because I didn't have hands in physically, why don't I have hands now?
Energy form, I can make it look like
yeah.
Yeah, and then some of the Squadron Supreme take down Death Urge.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Well, but then we see Maelstrom still kind of, he's now Oblivion's boy, totally.
Mm-hmm.
So we get that big Avatar fight.
Avatar of Infinity, yeah. Oh, we have Cersei showing up along with Moondragon, because we got the reveal of Moondragon earlier in the series.
HD. Yes, this kind of ties into a Captain America, because remember, we did cover the Superior Stratagem, and Cap couldn't get a hold of Quasar, so he's like, yeah, have Cersei go check out what happened to Quasar. So
yeah, he's kind of dead. Oops. It's not answering.
And she kind of opened up her the front of her costume a little bit for this issue. Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, Cersei, and doesn't Cersei kind of freak because she can't revive Makari? Makari can't.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Die, except when a cosmic entity makes him die, I guess.
Yeah, because she's trying to revive him. Yeah, that's when Maelstrom's henchmen try to attack them, and she just turns them into, a rat, a pig, and is that a duck?
And Moondragon likes her a lot already.
Oh, yeah. But yeah, just this final fight, it's like, Maelstrom and Quasar look evenly matched, but hey, it's like, hey, Maelstrom, let me show you something.
That's my old costume. It never existed, except it did.
I know, it's just like, did you see it? Did you see it? My other attire? I'll show it to you again. That is just the funniest thing. It's just like, you consider yourself an anomaly, Maelstrom? Ha! Compared to me, you're commonplace.
That's right, and that breaks his concentration, and the universe is saved.
Yep. And that black hole basically reverses and throws her.
And I do like how they call for new terms from the big four.
Yeah.
Death, eternity, oblivion, and infinity. And with them talking to each other, nobody. We don't. They even make it swiggles. I think right, so that we can't understand what they're saying. They're on such a plane so much higher than we are that there's nothing we can do.
But yeah, I mean, Quasar that goes back to Earth and brings himself back to life. Then it's like Infinity tells him, Oblivion, came up with a new truce. Oblivion and death keep Eon and Maelstrom. Eternity and I get you and your friend Makari.
And we get a new costume. So the best costume.
I was going to say, exactly. The best costume he's ever had. Yeah, and then after everyone's like, "Oh, what happened to your new costume? What's with this new costume?" That's when Makari just wakes up, like, ugh.
And it does have a pretty quick little ending. I wish they'd had like a few pages more to kind of,
I mean, they took that extra page. There was no letters.
No letters page. Yeah,
no, they took that extra page. Yeah.
But I mean, I think Keith Williams was Capullo's inker on that, and it's spectacular. Those 7 issues are just beautiful. I mean, absolutely beautiful. And then he gets better. He comes back in 27, and it's just like, holy crap! That splash page of 27, where they're inside Eon with the other quantum band, wielders. I mean, that's just, oh my god, that's just beautiful. Sorry, that's moving into the next, but I mean, this. Infinity Gauntlet has been reprinted and adapted, and everybody talks about Infinity Gauntlet. But Greenwald wrote the best Marvel Cosmic. He really did.
Yeah.
He also wrote Star Blast. So,
hey, even the best baseball players fail more than half of the time.
There you go. Yeah, he struck out on that one, but he knocked this one out of the park. I mean, it is. I mean, I would love to see an adaptation of this, as a cartoon or in MCU live action. I mean, it would be amazing.
Can you imagine the special effects on this thing? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So, any final thoughts before we get to? We have Soshin written feedback and Ray audio feedback.
I would just say that Quasar started out solid and stayed pretty solid for its first year. Mm-hmm. And then it ratcheted everything up for 13, and it just kept getting better and better and better and better. I mean, it's just awesome.
Oh, yeah. I mean, if not before, you could tell definitely from 13 to 25, he had a plan.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Maddie?
Well, I mean, I think I didn't have too much insight to direct into this. I feel a little bit embarrassed because I had been working on some statistics or something like that to go through some of this. Maybe I'll have it ready for next week, or I'll try to do one the next time we talk about the further along in the Quasar story. But I mean, Wendelbon and Everyman in this environment, this weird between living in the shadow of his father, trying to start this business, and then and deep space in intergalactic conflict. I mean, we come a long way in 25 issues, and it's great. If for some reason you're listening to this and don't have the trade and things like that, yeah.
What were your guys' first exposure to the character? Do you remember?
It was this series, yeah.
I think I picked up the Marvel Team Up. I don't necessarily remember that, but then I do remember buying Quasar #1 off the stands. So, that's... Yeah. But I think I first encountered it when, in that Spider-Man Team Up issue, which I don't know if it even registered at that time, but I do remember buying that somewhere a long time ago.
But yeah, no, Quasar #1 was my first exposure, so...
Well, I didn't get in that. I think the first issue that I saw on the stands was 3 or 4, but so I don't know. I didn't pick it up right away. I think I saw him around in Avengers books, and so the first time I saw Quasar, probably issue 3 or 4 on the stands.
Cool.
All right, so should we get to this feedback?
Let's do it.
All right, maybe I'll start with Soshin's first, but he kind of did the whole series. So there's some stuff in here after 25, but he must have been excited. He sent this like December 7th. So, all right, he said Soshin, our friend Soshin, we haven't heard from in a long time, says, "Hey, fellow Quantum Banders, here's my fairly short overall feelings of the 60-issue Quasar series. I was super pumped the first half of the series with learning Quasar's origin, and every issue thereafter, seeing him gain both confidence and recognition within the Avengers as a solid member of the team. 2 things really stood out for me. That time he made a quantum dome around the Infinity Watch, Thanos and company, and even with the Hulk and every other heavy hitter beating on it, the dome held. Quasar listened to Captain America and understood his directives. That makes a great team member, and he gained the respect of Captain America. The second thing that I really liked about the first half of the series was he didn't have to go at everything alone. He became friends with Makari and her, Kismet. The 3 of them became quite the force. I loved how dark the comic got with him losing his hands and with him being nailed to the wall like that. That quite possibly was my favorite story from the series. Well, Cosmos, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Here's where things for me went off the rails. Makari phased out of reality at the end of that race with the runner was never seen again, as far as I know. Yeah, it was quite a while. Quasar never once went looking for him or anything. That for me was a big WTF. Almost 30 years later, I've never come to an understanding that you can have a best friend one day and never even care to see where they went the next. Every close friend I have today at 42 I've had since I was 12. On the same issue, Her was a babe, and Quasar wasted his time on Kayla, who never really cared about him as a person. She ran off with that one guy on the alternate Earth the second she got the chance. She was a groupie and liked the superhero scene. You guys know I love the series as much as you, and I was thrilled to see Quasar make appearances in Guardians of the Galaxy issues earlier in the year. Maybe we could pull our collective pennies together and get with Marvel and continue the series with Will as editor/writer-in-chief. Just a thought. Soshin, Kona's backup Avenger Smith.
Awesome. Thanks for the feedback.
I love
yeah, good to hear from you, Soshin.
Yeah,
yep, good to hear from you.
Don't be a stranger, Soshin, but I love Kayla, the superhero groupie. But yeah, I mean, again, I guess, different. Once Grunwald left, people forgot about the whole Quasar Makari thing. But yeah, that is kind of like, I think, what was it, after 36? Like, he never saw Makari again, did he?
No, I don't think so. Makari jumped back to Earth and tried to say hi to Ken, but he was still moving at super speed, so nobody saw him. Everybody was frozen.
I mean, I know he rushed at the end of the series there, but you think there'd be like one line when when Quasar finally saw Kismet again and be like, "Oh, hey, what happened to Makari?"
Yeah, remember him? Really fast.
I was gonna say, I guess he thought, he's an Eternal. He just ran off. Ran off.
He just ran off. Yeah. Nice.
All right, so for our second feedback, here's our good friend Ray. Of course, another podcaster. You know him from such shows as Last Sons of Krypton, a Superman podcast. To Know Her is to Fear Her, a Spider-Woman podcast. You can catch him on this podcast the last Tuesday of every month, talking Scarlet Spider with me and Matt Kona. And, of course, the big one, his baby, Into the Night, the Moon Knight podcast. All right, so let's see what our good friend Ray had to say.
Hello, Quantum Zoners. This is Ray. Oh, a bit windy again. But I thought I'd just drop in some quick thoughts for your retrospective look back on Quasar issues 1 to 25. Now, just having a quick scan of the covers, just some overall thoughts, and I think, no surprise, for me, I guess the first 25 issues or so, which thankfully have been collected in a trade paperback edition, the 2 volumes, they, for me, are the most memorable of the Quasar run, which ran for about 60 issues. So the main takeaways for these earlier Quasar issues is obviously the setup. I really did like just seeing the origin of Wendell Vaughn, but there are also really fun guest appearances with the likes of Excalibur and Spider-Man, but there's also Acts of Vengeance, Journey into Mystery, and of course Cosmos in Collision. So all of those kind of really make up a really fun first 25 issues, and as I'm sure you guys have mentioned repeatedly on the show, they tend to be quite the strong story arcs within the Quasar kind of canon. For me, the standouts would obviously be Cosmos in Collision. I think that was a great 7-parter. But also, I enjoyed there were these early ones with Minerva. I think them trying to get the quantum bands off Quasar. I found that quite fun, as well as the likes of Quasar bumping into what's he called, Death Urge. I think the dude on the skis. I think he was in the first 25, but that whole kind of cosmic aspect where he's really, I mean, I know he does it throughout all 60, but there was a certain kind of, I don't know, flavour to it with Eon. Is that Eon? God, I can't get them. I get them mixed up. Yeah, and is it Eon being stuck in the closet? That's right, in the cupboard. Setting up, all that thing about setting up his security business and meeting Kayla, all that was really fun stuff at the beginning. So, yeah, I really enjoyed these particular runs at the beginning. I've got the first 9 plus. I think there was just some excerpts from I'm not sure, some other comic. I think it was Avengers Annual in a trade. It's a Quasar Classic trade paperback, which is really cool. I'm set to get the second volume, which covers all the way up from issue 10 to 25. So that covers basically what this retrospective covers in general. But I'm pretty sure I know what you guys think of these first 25, but it's going to be a fun listen to anyway. Wondering what your favourites are, besides, say, Cosmos in Collision, what your favourite issues from issues 1 to 25 will be. But having said that, yeah, catch you later, and go Quasar, go Quasar.
Hang up the phone. Let's see. So yeah, thank you, Ray. Yes.
Yeah, thanks, Ray.
You know we love this
Thank
series.
you, Ray.
Thank you, Ray. So that was the first 25 issues, basically the first 65 episodes of the show. Like I said, they're all on YouTube. I mean, you have to scroll down and kind of go in between shows on the podcast, which you can do. But yeah, YouTube, if you just want straight Quantum Zone, there's a playlist for that. All right. So, like, I think I said it already. Yes, the next 13 weeks we're going to be covering that Squadron Supreme series, including the Captain America tie-in issue.
Nice.
Yes. So, do your homework, kids. Next week, Squadron Supreme #1. Oh man, those are going to be some live reads.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. Does Nighthawk have to be done like, Batman from Batman Begins? Nighthawk. Sorry.
Well, we've got our first official casting so far.
I was going to say, Will, if you want to do that, be my guest.
No, that will destroy my throat. So no, that's all right.
So I was going to say, you or me probably got to be Nighthawk, because we already have our Hyperion. Matt Cohn's been doing Hyperion, I think, since day one. So
Yeah. From the planet Argon.
For now. Oh, wait till we get to that battle with the two Hyperions.
Oh yeah. Absolutely.
All right. So, again, thank you people for joining us for 150 weeks. I couldn't do it without these two gentlemen.
We couldn't do it without you, Phil. You're the one that does all the work. We just show up. And,
I know. You come with the knowledge, and Matt Cohn is the eye candy. Okay.
Yeah.
All right, so send us your thoughts, Squadron Supreme, for the next 13 weeks. So get on the ball, Ray. Soshin, you can start sending this. We missed you. It's great having you back. So, yes, email us, capesandlunatics@gmail.com, or call the voicemail 614-382-2737. That's 614-38-CAPES. And remember to follow the Quantum Zone on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. Join our Grunwald Groupies Facebook group. You can find this episode and every episode of the Quantum Zone on YouTube, on the YouTube channel, Patreon, merchandise, links to everything all in one place. That's Linktree, linktr.ee/capesandlunatics. And remember to support the sponsors, as my bladder's about to explode. Tweaked Audio! Get yourself some good headphones, Hunt a Killer. Use the code Southgate for both of those. And then pick up Pod Life the book, now in digital and paperback. And get that on Amazon. And when you do, use the link for Southgate Media Group right down there in the show notes. Help us support this show, the network, and that cosmic figure, Rob Master Doom Southgate.
Make it rain, so says Master Doom. Please kick me in the pants. Mark my words.
All right. Matt Kona, where can people find you?
Be quiet, so being subdued. At Matt Kona, all social media platforms except Parler. No.
Oh.
Nice. That was totally worth it.
Thanks. I'm still waiting for the confirmation email. It should be up soon. Just kidding. I'm kidding.
See, he's going to be a daddy's all broody and serious now. All right. Will Allred, master of the Quantum Zone. Where can people find you? And, hey, you have a Kickstarter project coming soon.
That's right. You can find me at WALLRED at Gmail and Twitter and Facebook and all those places. You can also find information about Crossover Division, which is Kickstarter, the recent Kickstarter that's has funded, and we are very close to starting to send out packages at this point. The lettering is very nearly finished, so that's cool. You can also go to that's crossoverdivision.com. You can also go to diaryofnight.com. This is another self-published book with artist Gene Gonzalez, and
that was just a really nice package.
There's all kinds of cool stuff at the Quantum Zone, quantumzone.org.
I'll put it in my navel.
Let's not forget some of your classic drops.
I'll put it in my navel.
The Contemplator. Oh, that comes later.
Star Blast, man. Star Blast.
I was going to say, a lot of yours were in the second half.
Hey, boys, you look at the party. I love the party. He goes limp in my grip. They aren't even attempting to enter our orifices. I hope it's going somewhere nice.
Yeah. Will came on strong in the second half of the series. All right, everyone. Thank you for joining us. say, Ray hasn't been here since day one. Soshi, you may be the OG fan of the Quantum Zone. Yeah. So yes, thank you everyone, old fans, new fans.
Yeah, thanks everybody. 150. Did you have any clue?
All we ask is feedback. We won't ask you to do anything illegal. So yeah, Quasar's taking a little vacation. We're gonna do ourselves some Squadron Supreme for 13 weeks. Ooh, 3 months. Alright, Quantum Zoners, that's right. So come back next time. And remember, keep it going and going and going and going.